All right, let's start with the basics. Superman opened with $125 million in the US, the biggest opening weekend for any Superman movie ever. By the end of its run, it's projected to land around $600 million worldwide. That's about $70 million less than Man of Steel, but here's the key difference. Domestically, it killed it. $335 million in the US alone, which is the highest domestic total for any Superman film, even when you include crossover movies like Batman v Superman or Justice League. So yeah, it didn't dominate overseas, but at home, it absolutely crushed it. But box office totals only tell part of the story. The real question is, did Warner Bros. Make money off this thing? Let's do some quick math. Using the standard industry formula, you take the production budget, which was $220 million, and multiply it by 2.5 to cover marketing costs and the cut that theaters keep. That means Superman needed about $550 million worldwide just to break even. And since it's already past $588 million, that makes it profitable. But there's another formula. Variety reported Warner spent about $125 million on marketing. Add that to the budget, and the total comes to $350 million. Multiply by 1.5, and the break-even point is $525 million. With that math, Superman has made around $60 million in profit so far. Not bad for a month in theaters. Now, some people argue Warner actually spent closer to $200 million on marketing. If that's true, the break-even jumps to $637 million, which Superman probably won't hit. But here's the thing. Studios never release exact marketing costs, and either way, box office isn't the only source of revenue. Which brings us to the next point. Superman doesn't just make money at the box office. It also had big collabs with Toyota, Spotify, and toy companies paying for licensing. Just for reference, Man of Steel made $170 million from brand deals before the movie even hit theaters. Even if this Superman made half of that, it's still a big financial win once you add it to ticket sales. And let's not forget digital sales, Blu-rays, and streaming. Once it drops on HBO Max, Warner gets another bump from subscriptions, just like what happened in 2021 with the Snyder Cut. All of that adds up, meaning Superman isn't just profitable, it's an actual moneymaker for Warner Brothers. And James Gunn himself even confirmed on Twitter that the movie didn't need $600 million just to break even. He said he'd never launch a new universe with a movie that had to make that much just to not lose money. So financially, this film is fine. But here's where critics come in. Even if it made money, people point out it didn't outgross Man of Steel. And once you adjust for inflation, Gunn's Superman actually drops down to 5th place among Superman's solo movies, and even 7th if you include crossovers. That could make it look like a step backward. So what happened? The answer isn't about quality, it's about context. Man of Steel came out in 2013, right after the Avengers blew up the superhero genre, and right after Nolan's Batman trilogy gave DC massive credibility. That was peak superhero hype. Back then, even movies like Venom and Aquaman crossed 800 million or even $1 billion. But in 2025, we're not in that era anymore. Superhero fatigue is real. The genre isn't dead, but audiences aren't showing up for every single cape movie the way they used to. And on top of that, DC's reputation has been rough the past few years. Canceled projects, box office flops, actor scandals, endless fan drama. Casual audiences were literally embarrassed to say they were DC fans. Gunn's Superman had to carry all that baggage, which Man of Steel never had to deal with. So yeah, in this market, expecting it to hit Man of Steel numbers was never realistic. So the final question, does Warner Bros. See Superman as a success? The answer is yes, and here's why. The studio had 3 main goals. Avoid financial disaster like the old DCU. Rebuild DC's brand into something audiences trust. Get fans excited for a new shared universe. And Superman delivered on all 3. Financially, it made more domestically in 48 hours than the last 4 DCU films made in their entire runs. In just 10 days, it outgrossed Thunderbolts worldwide and crushed Blue Beetle, Shazam 2, Flash, and Black Adam. It even beat Marvel at the box office for the first time in 17 years. That hasn't happened since 2008 when The Dark Knight came out. Critically and with fans, it's the most well-received Superman film in decades. Online buzz was massive, review scores were great, and it even boosted interest in older Superman content. Man of Steel viewership on HBO Max jumped 218%, and Gunn immediately capitalized by teasing Supergirl. Woman of Tomorrow. Audiences are excited about DC again. So here's the truth. Superman didn't need to make $1 billion. It didn't even need to beat Man of Steel. What it needed was to prove that audiences could fall in love with Superman again. And it did exactly that. Just like Batman Begins didn't set records, but gave Batman a fresh start, Gunn's Superman reset the character, made him more human, and got fans excited for the future of DC. That's why this movie is a win, not just at the box office, but for the entire franchise. But what do you think? Was Superman's box office performance a win, a flop, or somewhere in the middle? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next breakdown. Thanks for watching.